Hello there, my name is Suzanne Vertinen from DiscoverChange. Welcome to Leading Conversations. I'm so excited to be here today with Funmi Adewumi. Hi Funmi.
Hi Suzanne, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited to have you here today to share your journey on how you've started your business, Selective Life. I absolutely love the theme and ethos around your business, and I've seen you reach some great successes in the last few months and last few years. And why we're here today is to share a bit of your journey and also share some, growth tips, personal development tips with other people who might be pursuing their goals and dreams. Because, well, the world is full of opportunities, but sometimes there's so much doubt involved in pursuing those goals. So I can't wait to ask you a whole lot of questions to share some strategies with others who want to pursue, because you are a true expert, and it's been such a pleasure to know you and to collaborate with you on a few different projects. So before we get really started and sharing personal development strategies and so on, Funmi, could you share what do you do at Selective Life, and actually why did you start your business? What a fantastic name. And that would be a great way to start this, and then we'll carry on and share a little bit more strategies as well on how to start pursuing those goals and passions. So thank you for joining today, Funmi.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here to share my story.
Thank you.
Oh, I would say Selective Life. I've always had that name for at least, I would say, about 10 years now that I, had to come up with that name, and it just sums up everything about me, because about choices, about always looking for options, better way of doing things, and that is really who I am, and that's how I came about that name. But I've done a few things over the years, but recently, in the last I would say 4 years, I was in a web of emotional abuse in my second marriage that ruffled my feathers. And at a point I was disgusted, I was, angry, I was, a lot of mixed emotions. And I was saying to myself, if I could go through this ordeal so badly, how much more other people who don't have knowledge as much as I do? And I looked at it and I remembered Edmund Burke said something: evil triumph when good men do nothing. And I ponder on that for a while, and I thought to myself, I am going to commit to, to helping others. And I remember God telling me that, yes, this is your niche. Because I've always been asking questions. I've always been asking, I love to help people. I love to inspire people. I'm connected to people that are vulnerable. I just like people to live their full potential. But I don't know which direction. I can't help everybody. I needed to focus on one thing. And God said to me, this is your niche. And I looked at it and I said, I had to take a deep breath. And I thought, that means I'm going to be out there. And it's not really me, so I was like, and I had to think on that quote and thought to myself, if I really, really despise this, what I've been through, if I really, really despise it, then I need to do something to help others. I need to speak up. I need to use my story to help to inspire others so that they can embrace life fully. And that was the beginning of the journey for me. And, I had to do a lot of other things. I had to invest in myself fully, because at the same time, God told me, to seek knowledge. And I was thinking, yes, I've been doing all this research. I've been, I have an understanding. I've worked with different charity organizations in the past that deals with domestic abuse. I have an understanding. I've done a lot of research. And God said, seek, wisdom is the principal thing. therefore get wisdom. And in all that getting, get understanding. And for me, I like, okay, at the time I was in Nigeria, and I was thinking to myself, where am I going to get a coach or a counselor? Or, where am I going to get a professional? And I was really, really pondering on that until within a week or two. It's so funny how life brings what we are always thinking of to us. And, in the course of that week or so, I met my coach. And that was how my transformational journey began. And I had to invest in myself. I was able to really, truly understand why I was having that stumbling block, why I was turning between, letting go and actually embracing, letting go of my ordeal to what I knew that was not working for me, what I knew that, it's like living a false life. I was delusional. It was so obvious that this wasn't going anywhere. There is not going to be any change, but I was still hoping that there is going to be a change. And it took a lot of inner work. It took a lot of personal development for me to be able to embrace what is truly mine, what is truly my value. It took a lot of work for me to be able to separate what was introjected from my upbringing, my caregiver, to actually knowing what is truly my core value. And for me to be able to separate that, then until I was able to do that, I couldn't let go. And I thought to myself, this is profound. And, once I was in that space where I was able to embrace my authentic self, it was much easier for me to let go. And I didn't look back ever since. And that was how I committed. And in the process, I committed then at the same time that I was going to write my book, because I had it all, my journey. I wrote everything down, and that was how I came up with the book, and I said I am better than this. And that's how I came up with my book, and it's on Amazon. Wow. So that's how I committed to the journey of helping other people, transforming life, inspiring other people, who are stuck in either their relationship or they want to, whatever experience they've had, but you are torn in between, you don't know what to do, you're just frustrated, you want more out of life. And, that is what I do in a nutshell.
I mean, that is just, thank you for sharing. That is just so inspiring. And I hope I could pick up on so many things what you just said. And I love what you said there about becoming or actually accepting, embracing and accepting your authentic self. But the journey to get there was quite a long-winded, challenging journey. And thank you so much for sharing what you said there, because it's not easy to talk about being in a relationship that is abusive. And actually what you said there is that you were at a very low point. And isn't it only in those moments when really we say, you know what, enough is enough? And actually what you did, and there's a great quote on this, one of my favorite quotes, don't let your struggle to become your identity. And in one way, you let that struggle actually become, that challenge became an opportunity, because you realize that, you know what, you had gone through this and you didn't get the support, or maybe you could have had support in different ways. You needed that support at a certain time in your life. And there's so much loneliness and self-doubt and frustration in those points in time. And you actually, now what you did is you changed that, you transformed that into an opportunity to start helping people. You wrote a book which is hugely inspiring. I've read the book and it's absolutely amazing. Not only does it share your journey, but also so many practical personal development strategies and tools about how to make those also daily changes. And it's not just about the actions, it's the way that you perceive yourself, isn't it? And what you said there is how you changed your perception and your self-worth, started to value yourself more. Isn't that such an important message to share with the rest of the world, especially at the times that we are living right now? So many people have, you know, that kind of low self-confidence. So you said about getting a coach and how that transformed everything. So can you talk to me about what types of things did you do? So you mentioned about values. What type of work did you do with a coach? Because sometimes we, you know, as coaches, as consultants, we recommend to get a coach, and people say, you know, I'm one of those people. No, I'll figure it out. You know, I'll figure it out by myself. But years in, you still carry on having the same problems. So what is life coaching, kind of personal development coaching? What did you do with your coaches, for example?
Oh, I started with a one-to-one coaching session or counseling session, and it helped me to be able to create a different meaning for my experience. And that was the first thing. It gave me a lot of opportunity to think outside the box. I was not, you know, focusing on this is it. You know, this is what I think it should be. I looked at it in a, you know, a lot of whole different ways, and I was able to create a new meaning for my experience, which for me, it now, I stopped worrying about what I think it should be, and started giving it, I gave it a new meaning that was so empowering. And that helped me to detach from what the problem is. And I started focusing more on myself.
That's very powerful.
And I went through a lot of, you know, a journey of personal development where, you know, I did NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And it's not just one tool. We had different modalities that we had to go through to be able to change your perspective, your thinking, your thought patterns, your behavior, and all of that. And it's about study of how experts have been able to, is modeling after experts. What people that have been through the journey, what they have come up with, and then modeling after that modalities. It's really, it's like, if it's worked for other people, then definitely who am I not to embrace this? And it is so empowering, seeing sometimes during the course of the training, instant transformation. You just feel so emancipated. You feel so like, you know, so many aha moments for me. And I'm like, if you can just shift the way you think, it is so profound that it takes you from that place of hopelessness, where you are not, you can't really think ahead of yourself. You can't get past the problem. It takes you out of the problem and take you to a place where you can actually embrace life fully. And for me, it was an amazing journey. It was an amazing journey.
That's very powerful. And I just love what you said there about giving a different meaning to things, and that you said that the transformation was actually instant, because so often we think that, you know, life change takes forever, or it's, you know, wait until you start making the improvements. People procrastinate, there's lack of self-belief and all that doubt, and should I not? And I love what you said, this should I. What should be, isn't it? So often we should be, it's not this way and it should be. We cling on to things that, you know, those standards and unrealistic standards maybe that aren't going to happen. And it's so empowering what you're sharing, because now fast forward to today, and having gone through that journey of transformation yourself, and now built your business, helping people all over the world. I joined your event, your virtual event, one of them, Personal Development Summit of I Am Better Than This. And, you know, dozens of people coming to listen to you and guest speakers, but being so inspired by hearing this kind of journey, because the best type of role model is the type of role model who understands that journey of transformation, who understands those challenges. And in that event, for example, you shared, I found it amazing. You shared, you know, how this journey came together and how you created your book. So you don't only actually organize the virtual events, but you also have a couple of workshops to really help people to now to start putting in place their goals. And it's not just about goals, but actually embracing that true authentic self.
Yeah.
So you have a workshop called Own Your Story, isn't it? And I love that. And how did that come about?
For me, it's about embracing everything about yourself. It's about acceptance. It's about owning your story. For me, it's about accepting everything that your experiences and creating a new meaning for, you know, what you truly want out of life. It's not to break that cycle of that limiting story that you've been telling yourself. Yes, we've gone through issues in life. We've gone through issues. We're still going to go through issues. But what meaning can you create out of that? For me, it's empowering. Knowing that I'm going through this issue, you know, and I can make something out of it. You can always look at issues with the rose-colored glasses and create a better meaning for yourself. So going through that process in my course would help you to see options and create a new meaning for yourself. That is, you know, a new meaning that is empowering.
Absolutely. And I love that. And such a big part of that is accepting what's happened, but moving forward with those new empowering beliefs, embracing the journey that you've traveled so far, just like what you have done. And it's so empowering because now you're working also with charities, helping people, helping women, especially who have unfortunate circumstances with, for example, having faced domestic abuse. But you've turned that, what's happened before, you know, what we said about struggle becomes an identity for some people, that they might have these unfortunate situations in their lives, and everybody's experienced something. Like you, I heard such an inspiring talk from you. It's not necessarily just the abuse, what you talked about, but it could come in many forms. It could come in childhood trauma. It could come in bullying, adulthood, so many different things that affects in people and their potential. But actually, like you said, and what you do, you have workshops, one-to-one coaching, so many different opportunities for people to really accelerate, fast track that process. That actually you can start living such a great, fulfilling, enjoyable life straight away, not have to wait until next year or next month or so on, but actually today. So, I mean, on that note, because, you know, I've seen what you do, and I've seen the events, and people absolutely love it, and great feedback that obviously people are moving away with, you know, going away with really clear strategies. So it must be great to see people really benefiting from what you're sharing and being such a source of inspiration. So what do you enjoy most, you personally, about what you do in your job or in your business?
Oh, I would say what I enjoy most is that transformation, actually experiencing someone transforming to actually embrace life fully. And, you know, when they are able to make sense of their experience and able to transform to a place where they are ready to embrace life fully, it is so joyous and joyful for me to experience. And that's the core of what I do. To see that transformation happen, it's amazing.
Absolutely. And it's you are fulfilling your mission, isn't it? And your personal mission and vision to empower people, you know, and understand that, embrace that sentence of I am better than this, you know, and I deserve the most and the best in life. I love that. And what's also come about in how you work and help and support people is that there is never any judgment, because so many people feel guilty about what they've done, what they haven't done. But actually what you help is really to pave that new way forward. And it's not always easy, is it, to face that truth?
No.
And I actually posted something yesterday,
Yes,
a couple of days ago. And it's, especially the times that we're living in now, you know, the uncomfortable truth is better to face that than living in denial.
Yeah.
So would you say something, could you say something about that? Some people live in denial. Why is that? Why does that happen? You know, did you experience that?
Absolutely, I did. And I would say that it all builds up from who we have developed to be right from when we were young. It depends on, you know, our pattern of behavior that sometimes is not as a result of what we have learned. It's sometimes as a result of what we have taken in as, you know, as a child. And as a child, we take everything in. We take in all. Either you know it consciously or unconsciously. A lot of times you say, I don't want to do this. I don't like my mommy shouts too much. I don't like my father behaving this way. But you grow up to be doing the same thing. Why does that happen? Because we take in everything whole. We interject everything that's, you know, that is around us. And that forms our pattern of behavior. So a lot of times, you know, we behave, most of our behaviors are unconscious. 95% of what we do are unconscious. They are not something we are doing intentionally. They are things we have learned over the years. And this forms an habit that we don't even know. That's why it's a bit difficult to say you really want to stop something and you can't stop it. And that's why sometimes, a lot of times, there is a clash. When there is no congruence between your ideal self and, you know, and your reality, then there is a clash. Then you're confused, you're frustrated, you are constantly wanting more. You want one thing, but something else is happening. And then, so you have to, that's why you need a coach. You need to go through personal development. You need to do some inner work for you to be able to separate the two and embrace your authentic self. If you don't do that, you will keep believing, you will keep on living a false life.
Wow, that is so profound. And thank you for sharing. I love that, because those behaviors are so unconscious, those patterns every day, you know, is, you know, even people working really hard, trying to achieve more in life. And, you know, we both know we're entrepreneurs. You can work for months without seeing, years in some cases, without seeing any results. It takes so much resilience. And when you don't get the results that you want or quick enough, because people want results quickly,
Give up.
You give up and you think that you're doing something wrong.
And can I chip in? And a lot of times people think, I want this thing, but it's not truly what they want. It's what they have, what they think they want. You want to be like someone else. You want to be like Susan. You want to be like this. You want this. You want this. It's not truly who you are. You have to find out who you are at core. Who are you? What makes you tick? What are the things that, you know, would wake you up at night? What are the, you know, what's your core value? What are the things that are really, really important to you? And if you dive into a business, if something is not working for you, if it's truly your passion, either you're paid for it or not, you will keep going. You will keep pushing on. But if it's not really you, if it's something that you have taken on and you think you really like it, if it's not going well, you will give up along the way. That's why you have to find out, you have to live your authentic self so that you can be truly happy and not living other people's lives.
Wow, that's just so powerful, because that labeling from childhood to adulthood and having those assumptions, because, you know, just like you, I've supported a lot of people in their personal and professional lives. And actually what happens is so many of them already have had the finances or have the finances. They have the family, they have the house, they have the friends.
And still not.
Something is missing. And what is that is missing? And actually it's sad sometimes to go so far and cling on that the money is going to resolve things. Money absolutely gives choices, but it doesn't, like that vague kind of, it doesn't buy happiness, as they say, but it's true because it's material. You know, we never came to this earth with any material, and we surely won't leave with any material either.
Absolutely.
So you're saying that for someone who wants to move on with life and actually let go of those past patterns, those subconscious behaviors that are holding them back, maybe those daily patterns and decisions, but it's not so easy to break out from that, isn't it? Facing that truth and facing that, oh, I am actually behaving in this way. And actually so many of those expectations, they are external. You know, they come from parents, teachers, school, government, and people can be confused as to what do I actually want. So if some people actually answer to simply, I actually don't know what I want. All my life I've been doing things for other people. I actually really have no clue. What could they do? I mean, that's a tough question but what could that type of individual do when they really don't even know what they want? What kinds of things could they start with?
Self-discovery. Truly find out, who am I? What is important to me at core? Not to, you have to list a whole lot of things. What do you do now? How important is this to you? If you don't do this, what would that mean to you? If you do this, what would not doing this mean to you? And you need to find out and be able to get to the core of what is really important to you. It's just, you have to take time. You can't live on the surface and think it's all going to be okay. You need to sit down and be reflective and think about it. You might need a guide, and that's why we get coaches. That's why we invest in coaches and all of that. It seems so easy. If you can, why not? The information is all there on the net. But sometimes you need someone to guide you to get that exponential result. When you are stuck, to say, how do I do this? I'm stuck, and you can get someone to help you maneuver quicker. And that's the purpose of investing in yourself. It's about asking those critical questions and being honest with yourself. If you want to live an authentic life, you have to be honest with yourself. I can lie to Susan, I can lie to everybody around me, I can lie to my parents, but you can't lie to yourself. You have to be true. You have to be true to yourself. And that's the core of it. If you are true to yourself, you know that doing this thing is setting me back. Doing this, it might not be so, sometimes that's why it's a bit, I would say, difficult to embrace. What you want at core might not seem so glamorous and so, and if you're really sure about it, if it's really important to you, it's like saying integrity is my core value. And everything everything that I do doesn't reflect that core value, my integrity. You will be unhappy in what you're doing. No matter how much I get paid from that job, no matter how much you are earning, if it doesn't reflect your integrity, if it doesn't reflect your core value, there is going to be conflict. You are going to be unhappy. So you need to sit down, be reflective, and work out what is important to you. And
that's very powerful. And I love what you're saying there, and how you're opening up the conversation about the inner conflict, having that conflict, what you mentioned earlier about the clash. If it's not, you're doing one thing, but you don't actually want, or there's some resistance there. So it's breaking through that resistance and investing in yourself. And so many people, I had the same. My first ever life coaching course was £3,000. And I thought, £3,000, that is a lot. And my other half, I can tell you, he wasn't impressed that I had gone for it.
And that's so many years ago, I can assure you.
Well, exactly. And actually, this is the most important investment ever to make in life, is in yourself. Somebody told me a few weeks ago, I love how they put it. They said, every year people upgrade their phone, but they never upgrade their mind.
Their mind, absolutely.
I love
agree
that
with you.
because it's so true, isn't it? We always
Yeah.
focus on what's going on around, but actually not focusing on what's going inside. And actually, I'm a living example of that, because in my early 20s, I lived in 5 different countries in 5 years. I love starting, you know, my company is called DiscoverChange. I love change, and I thrive on the change and starting from beginnings, but we can't run away. Something that I didn't get something, for me, it's like, I want it now. Most people, of course, why wouldn't we? We want things right now. We want to enjoy life right now. But if you really want something and if you have big goals, you have to be so resilient to keep pushing. But for me, it's like, oh, it didn't work, I'm going to move again. Oh, it didn't work, well, the government wasn't super, I'll move again. But what happened? I kept moving. What else happened? The same problems kept occurring.
It keeps coming up. It keeps showing up. It keeps
You
showing up.
can't escape yourself, isn't it?
Self.
You cannot escape yourself. So
you can't.
If you know, and another great quote that I've heard you say as well, but if you want, you know, your life to change, you have to change. Because when you change, everything changes.
Everything changes.
You made different choices a few years ago. You know, you decided that, you know what, indeed, I am better than this. You know, for years, I've been pondering, thinking, what should I do? I'm not good enough for this and I'm not good enough for that. But actually, at a point in life when you've got children, you went to studies, you changed your career, you started a business. You are such a living, inspiring proof and example of, you know, what to do. And it's not that we have all the solutions, because some people might look at you, Funmi, well, it's easy for you to say because you're so confident. You just go for things. But actually, we just got to get started. And actually, in many areas, you're not so confident. Just like me, I'm not so confident in many areas, but people don't always see that. They don't see the challenges that you go through. You know, they assume that it's easy for you, but not easy for them. But nothing is actually easy. Oh, it is whatever we label it to be, isn't it? If we say it's easy. If we say it's hard, it's hard. If we say it's frustrating, it's frustrating. The rule number one of one of the rules of NLP, you know, it is what
you make it to be,
And you know what you've done and how you've invested in your business, you're building and you've built a platform where you're providing your courses, resources, inspiration to all over the world. And online events that I've joined, and people are absolutely loving the inspiration they are getting. So it's just amazing to see that you are living and breathing your vision, and there's still plenty to go, because there's always more, isn't there? There's always more people. So when we talk about challenges, and just before we have another few minutes left, but what has been a big challenge for you? And I mean, you've already shared a few things, but especially on this journey that you started studies, you went and did diplomas, you started a business, but especially in building your business, because it's a big journey. What has been a big challenge for you, and how have you maybe overcome it? It might help someone else overcome a similar problem.
Oh, Sudan, my greatest challenge is actually juggling and managing my health, managing to work full time, managing to build my business and living my purpose just the way I want it. It's a bit challenging. It is challenging. I must tell you, some days like today, I really wanted to cancel this interview, and I thought to myself, no, I need to just give it a go. But you know, it's daunting sometimes, overwhelming. I sometimes I can't do anything. I'm just holding my laptop, and for hours I can't do anything. But it's good to.
Well, if I can pick up on that, because what you said is about joining today, and one actually big challenge, and we've been collaborating a few months to build the platform, and one big challenge which most people don't actually like is doing videos. And you know, like you said, and today it's about videos. And
yes,
but when you finally started to do the videos and you did your events, people were so inspired. So you did it despite not wanting to do the thing, isn't it?
That's the thing with me. A lot of things I don't really like to do, or it's not my forte. But there is one thing about me. I knew that I don't have a choice. I have to do it. It's challenging because it's not my it's not my comfort zone. But I will still give it a go anyway. I knew that I don't have a choice. I have to do these videos. So I have to pace myself and, psych myself and, just put myself out there. We set a date. It's like and giving myself that time, allowing myself to get ready to want to do it works for me. And it can be challenging, but it's all in the mind. And once I do it, sometimes you feel like it's not that bad after all, so.
I love that.
And there's a saying that says, so I have to live what I say. Even though I might not feel too comfortable doing it, it's not what I really like to do. But the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. And, I say this quote all the time. And no matter how difficult or fearful or, something is, until you start it, you realize it's not as difficult as you think it is. So just give it a go and just start. So that's
I love that. I love that. And I love your honesty, because this is such an important thing and I learned this from one of my business coaches a few years ago when I said, well, I don't want to do Facebook. And you know what he said? Who cares what you want? And I said, well, what do you mean? I don't want, why are you talking to me like that? But I don't want it because it's not going to work for me. I'm a private person. I'm not going to use social media and this and that way. And the whole use of social media for businesses, there's a whole range of barriers and resistance. But that key sentence, he said, who cares what you want? And that's what basically you two said. It's not about whether I feel like it or not. You've set a goal. You're on a mission. So therefore, whether you like to do the video, whether you like the blogging or whether you like the posting, you're going to do it because your mission is to inspire and empower.
I was just going to say that. So I was just going to take that, out of you. That what's the purpose behind doing this whole thing? Is it about myself or is it about inspiring others? What is your motive? If your motive is clear and it's bigger than yourself, regardless of how inconvenient or how difficult the task is, you will go for it. It wouldn't matter. A lot of times I like things, I have that imposter syndrome. I like things to be perfect. So in the process of wanting perfection, I tend not to do anything. And having a coach like you would, we set a date and time, and that is accountability. Because I have, one of my core values is integrity. I want to make sure that I'm committed to what I've said I would do. We agree together. It's not like you imposed it on me. It's what I wanted to do. And for me, there is no going back, because the purpose of this whole thing is not about me at the end of the day. It's not about how, poised or, all together, so I have to look beyond myself. And that is a driving force for me. And we all have to have that really sense of what is your driving force in doing whatever you do. And that will keep you going, even when you don't feel like it.
I absolutely love that, because it really is indeed about that mission and vision. And that's why it's been such an amazing pleasure to be collaborating with you in so many things and supporting you, because you never, even the toughest days, and like you mentioned about also, your personal circumstances and managing health, there's different things that affect mood and productivity and ability to do things, but you never, you don't have those excuses, and you don't, because you it's the higher purpose. It is not about self-centered actions. And if I may say, actually, that one of the last questions I would like to ask today from you is actually, many people are thinking about pursuing their businesses, building their dream, creating a different lifestyle, but there is so many questions, so much self-doubt, and you just keep going, even though you don't know exactly how it's going to look like, but you keep going ahead. So, what maybe 2 or 3 tips could you give? And obviously you've already kind of said a lot of those tips already, but especially for someone building their dream and looking at you, written a book, created online programs, empowering people globally. It's great to see what you're doing. So if someone wants to, you know, start on something like that or pursue that, could you give them a couple of tips, just so that they don't stop? Because that vision is so big and important.
I have quite a few of them. I would say the number one is never to give up, not to give in to anything that is not serving you. Because deep down inside of you, you know that you are better than this, and then you want more. So don't give up or don't give in to anything that is not serving you. And that works for me because I have a standard. I know what I want, and because I know that I am better than this, I don't settle for less or mediocrity. Keep going, and I know that you'll get there. The second tip I would say is don't be afraid of being your true self. Don't be afraid. The fear we don't face becomes our limit. It was said by Josh Lowe. The fear we don't face becomes our limit. So you need to do critical analysis of what you truly want. Or, you know, if something is not serving you, let it go and embrace your true self. And what you think is your true self might be a bit not as glamorous as you want it to be. It's a journey and you will get there. It doesn't matter if everybody is gone past you and you think, oh, I have people that are high flyers. Consistency. Just be consistent and, you know, committed to yourself, and you will surely get there. And the third one is clarity of purpose. I cannot overemphasize that. What do you want? Understanding yourself, self-discovery. What makes you tick? Lack of purpose and aspiration brings hopelessness. There will be hopelessness, there will be confusion, there will be chaos. So you need to have clarity of purpose. Invest in yourself and discover who you truly are at core, and that will be your driving force. And the last one, I would say, seek help. Invest in a coach. Get accountability partner. Get someone that would help you through the journey. Otherwise, you will just keep hitting the wall. You will be doing it by yourself, and everything will seem overwhelming. We all have ideas in our head, and you know, if you don't get someone to help you, to guide you through the journey, it will look, you know, you will be overwhelmed. So seek help, and you know, don't walk alone. So those are my tips.
Yeah, thank you. And that is absolutely amazing, because that is and sometimes people might think, oh yeah, well that's quite simple, but actually it's not so simple. That is, like you said as well, it's a daily thing. It's so, just to summarize what you said, then kind of summarize what you said today all together. It's such inspiring tips for people at all stages in life, you know, you and me both, and everyone else, because there's always more to do, there's always more to gain. But at the same time, let's enjoy that journey. Embrace your authentic self. Start to find out who you are. Stand in your ground and admit and accept and embrace the fact that you can and you do deserve better, and that you deserve the best.
You deserve the best, because you're better than this. You're better than anything less. You're better than anything that, you know, anything less, anything that is not. If you're not embracing your full potential, you know, then you need to.
And that self-doubt that, you know, so many people have, like you said earlier on, and this is such a key lesson for everyone, is this learned behavior. The self-doubt is learned behavior and thinking. Therefore, to reach new heights in life, you have to think bigger and better of yourself. Set that big empowering vision, like you said, that it isn't focused on you, that it's focused on others. Because at the end of the day, when we really start to flourish and be the best that we can be, is when we're contributing, is when we love what we do every day. And some people might disagree with that. They might say, well, I don't want to work. But actually, even the millionaires and the billionaires, they don't spend all day on the beach, you know, they're doing something that they love still. And that's why they are millionaires and billionaires, because they're doing something that helps them thrive, that is stimulating.
Even what they built is not just for themselves. It's not, it's
Exactly.
someone out there. It's because they had a vision and, you know, that is helping others. That's why the business is growing and they're making money, because they're actually helping in some way.
Yes, they're providing employment for people.
Employment.
They're providing opportunities.
Opportunities and, you know.
Exactly. And actually so many times, you know, the real opportunities in life, they are not just looking at your own growth, but then going out of that and looking at how can I help other people grow, just like what you are doing. And I mean, me and you, Funmi, we could go on to this forever, but we are going to wrap up now. And I really just want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for joining Leading Conversations, and also congratulations for everything that you are doing, because it takes guts, it takes courage. You're also talking about things that many people don't want to talk about. They bottle it in. It's taboos, things like this that many people don't want to face.
Stigmatization, what are people going to say, and all of that.
Absolutely. But you know, you say, you know what, it's okay, because everything's going to be okay. And I'm here to support you. And, you know, actually there's only growth moving forward. And, you know, that reflection time is so important. So anyone here, you know, wanting to take the next step is go and do Funmi's course first of all, and I Am Better Than This workshop, as well as Own Your Story workshop, and also so many additional free resources, videos, and just invest in yourself. Remember that, you know, life is about, you know, you at the end of the day, and embracing it. Let's enjoy this journey, this short period of time we have here. So Funmi, really thank you so much. Did you want to say anything else before we finish?
Thank you for having me, Suzanne. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and thank you. And I look forward. And Suzanne, thank you for everything you've done, and thank you. You've been amazing, and look forward to so many other opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Funmi. Absolutely pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.